Welcome to another tutorial video. Today we're going to be going over how to use the shotgun properly in ninjaio. First, we're going to talk about where to aim with it. Next, we're going to talk about how to use secondaries to make up for its weaknesses. And finally, we're going to talk about gameplay and fight tactics when you're using this gun. Alright, so to start, let's go over where you want to aim with the shotgun because there are some really interesting and unique things to note when aiming with a shotgun. So when the shotgun shoots, its bullets spread a bit. And that means when you line up your shots, you need to make sure no bullets are being wasted or spreading into areas where your target isn't, because then obviously you're just wasting your damage potential. So when you shoot with a shotgun, all of your bullets don't just magically end up where your mouse is pointing, and you need to remember that. You need to get a feel for where the bullet spread is, how the bullet spread is going to affect your shot, and know where most of your bullets will land when you take a shot. On top of that, there is a bit of bullet drop with the shotgun on top of the spread, so the bullets are spreading out and dropping at the same time. So a lot of the times you'll end up aiming a bit above whatever you're trying to shoot at to sort of counteract that drop. So now when you combine the bullet drop and the bullet spread, it becomes pretty obvious that to use the shotgun well, you need to break the habit of trying to rely on your mouse cursor and that, aiming line that you have normally. When you're using a weapon like the laser gun or the barrette, the bullets generally go where your mouse is pointing. So since you're so used to that, it can be a hard habit to break, but to use the shotgun well, you're going to need to learn to use your mouse cursor as a general guidepost instead of relying on it to be accurate. To summarize, to use the shotgun properly, you need to build an internal mouse cursor. You need to have an idea of where your bullets will land without any aim assist tools, and by aim assist tools, I mean like that white line that you have normally, because where that white line is pointing is usually, unless you're really close to the target, a lot of the times it won't be where your bullets end up. The best way to practice aiming like this and building this internal mouse cursor is, in my opinion, to think of your bullets as heavy when you shoot them. So shotgun slugs are big and beefy even in real life, and you need to think of them like that. Shotgun bullets have weight to them, and when you think of them as heavy, with enough practice and repetition, you'll really start to build that internal compass and learn where to aim to get your bullets where you want them to go. Obviously, the closer you are to your target, the less bullets will spread and the less drop you'll have to worry about. So being closer will make it easier to, make sure none of your bullets are being wasted. But there's something else you need to keep in mind when using the shotgun as well, and that's the fact that you generally want to hit headshots when you can. With a weapon like the barrette, you only have one shot, so you play it safe and aim for the upper torso. But with a shotgun, since you have lots of, different chambers or rounds, at least relatively, you can afford to go for the head, and headshots with a shotgun are super damaging, so the payoff is worth it. To use the shotgun properly, you need to summarize all this, to use it properly, you need to break your preconceptions about how to aim and that your shots will go where your mouse cursor is, because that isn't the case with this weapon. You need to break that preconception. Don't think about it like the laser gun. Instead, think of your bullets as heavy and then go from there to build an internal compass and, get a feel for where that bullet spread is going to how that bullet spread is going to affect your bullets in combination with the drop. You need to build an internal compass to summarize that. And I'm sorry if that sounds a bit vague, but I don't know how else to describe it. Think of your bullets as heavy and just keep practicing until you have sort of an internal guide on where to shoot, I guess. And then once you have that, make sure you're aiming for the head. You want most of your little bullet pellets to hit the head if you can, because like I said, the payoff for doing that is definitely worth it. The next thing to note when you're talking about the shotgun is its range. The shotgun is a close to medium range weapon. When you're being attacked by any kind of, or from any kind of long range, you're at a disadvantage. You might think the way to overcome this is to just rush down your enemy, But you need to keep in mind that while you try and do that, all you're doing is giving your enemy free time to shoot at you. So instead of doing that, what you'll want to do when you're being attacked from a range, or a range where your shotgun isn't effective, you'll want to swap to a secondary weapon, and if you can't win, use that secondary to fight to retreat until you have a safe opportunity to close the distance between you and your enemy. So with a shotgun, picking and using your secondary weapon properly is super important, because there are ranges where the shotgun isn't effective, so you need your secondary. You need that. You need a secondary that can deal with long-ranged attackers, and any secondary with any kind of range, and speed is also important, but main thing is any kind of range. You need a secondary with any kind of range, and that should do the trick. So as I'm making this video today, with a shotgun, your best options for secondaries are probably going to be either the RPG or deagles. As soon as your enemy starts to leave a close or medium range, swap to your secondary and use it to finish the fight that way. You don't want to try and over pursue with the shotgun. Instead, use your secondary to make up for the shotgun's range weakness. A shotgun is not a weapon that you use alone. It needs a secondary to bring out its full potential. And that's what you need to remember. It sort of has like a Goldilocks zone, if that makes sense. And once your enemy is out of that Goldilocks zone, you either need to find another chance to attack them later, so it means you retreat, or you need to use your secondary to finish the job. Don't try and shoot enemies super far away with a shotgun, or all you're doing is wasting your ammo and making yourself an easy target. And on a side note, a topic that I want to just quickly brush on is that you need your flight to assist you while you're using the shotgun. Like we were talking about earlier, when you're using the shotgun, you want to be at close ranges and hitting headshots if you can. To do both of these, your flight becomes essential. You need to control the distance between you and your enemy, either through rushing them down or rushing into cover when you're at a disadvantage. Distance management is one of the biggest factors that come into play when using the shotgun. If you can't control the distance between you and your enemy, you won't do well. It's really as simple as that. Whereas with the Beretta, you want to control the distance to keep your enemy pretty far away. It's the opposite with the shotgun. So it might take some getting used to, but you need to be able to control the distance between you and your enemy precisely with the shotgun, and use things like secondaries and shuriken or grenades to make up for that disadvantage when you can't control the distance. One more thing that's worth bringing up as well is that when you're in a fight using the shotgun, a lot of the times you can use your flight to get above your enemy, and even if it's just by a little bit, you can sometimes use that to make it easier to hit headshots. At least that's something that I found has been a bit helpful. Alright, so I tried to be as concise, quick, and brief as I could, so hopefully this video covered everything in enough depth and gave you an idea of what you want to be working towards and looking for while you're using the shotgun. Feel free to let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, and thank you all for watching. That is all for today.